Alright, take 3. Both times I've tried to film this motherfucking video, I'll get to like 8-9 minutes in and I'm still talking about the same fucking record. These videos don't need to be 25 minutes long. Nobody wants that. But I've sort of been in a kind of a weird mood recently with actually wanting to make these videos. It's weird because lately I've actually sort of enjoyed the filming process as well as the editing, and for the last year or so I kind of just liked filming videos so I can edit something. In the last year, editing's kind of become like a hobby of mine. I enjoy doing it. I just want to make these videos as nice as I possibly can, because the way I feel about it, if I'm going to put the energy into making videos, I want to put the energy into making the videos as nice as possible. And there's been all sorts of things that I've tried and have sort of failed. I've wanted to do the second angle thing, but I don't have a big enough flat surface where it actually works or looks very good, so I've scrapped that a bunch of times. I've even filmed videos where I've edited that into it and then taken it out last minute. There's just all sorts of things I sort of want to be able to do. I want to make these videos nice, and hopefully you guys enjoy all the work I'm putting into this shit. I don't know if you guys can hear this in the background. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But this is what I have on. This is Doyle with As We Die. This is the second Doyle album. This is a collaborative project with Doyle from the Misfits and Alex Story of Cancer Slug. Never been a big Misfits fan at all, but for the last 8-9 years I've been a massive Cancer Slug fan. You know, anything Alex Story does I really enjoy. Though I didn't really enjoy the first Doyle album, which I think was called Abominator, but this one's actually quite good. So I just got it today. I've listened to it probably 3 times. It is a 2017 album and it's real fucking good. So I don't know if you guys are into this style of music. If you are, check that shit out. Alright, again, this is the first record I'm going to talk about. This is one of those records that I didn't think I was going to get a copy of, because this came out quite a bit ahead of time in Europe through European distros. And I knew it was super limited. It sold out pretty much everywhere immediately upon arriving at these European distros, and you know, I was kind of like, well, I guess I'm not getting one of those. It didn't really bother me that much because I knew how limited it was, and the chances of me getting one were super slim from the very beginning. But it popped up in American distro, I saw it, I bought it, and it sold out in just a little bit, so glad I got one. This is Black Citadel with Relics of Forgotten Satanist Wisdom. Black Citadel is an American black metal project. It's a sort of very raw, harsh, noisy, cold, lo-fi style of black metal. I think there's a bit more here. I don't know what it is, because if you're just kind of hearing it, then it just sort of sounds like raw, noisy black metal. But if you really listen to it, it sort of almost has like a melancholy to it. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, man. The first time I was listening to this thing, it was giving me the blues, and I fucking love it. And this seems to be a sort of farewell compilation for Black Citadel, even though they've only been around since last year, and they released a demo, an EP, and 2 splits. This seems like this is pretty much it for these guys. But I will show you the packaging here. There's the front cover, super cool. I like the white splatter. Just like sort of picture of like a castle inside this frame. There's the back cover, you got like a wall of skulls put out on Amor Fati. And here is the list of songs. This is every song this band ever released. And unfortunately this is one of those dumb fold over covers which are completely useless. So you got lyrics to 4 of the songs, and inside you got a picture of the member, and it says Black Citadel is dead. I would have liked to have heard what these guys would have done with a full-length album, but at the same time I totally respect a band's decision to quit while they're ahead. And the labels are completely uninteresting. Just Amor Fati on that side, and then you got the track listing here. So yeah, I think this was limited to 150 copies. And like I said, it sold out everywhere in Europe pretty quickly, and then it finally eventually made its way to America. But I'm glad I got one. This is super fucking good. Check it out. A lot of it's on YouTube. It's Black Citadel with Relics of Forgotten Satanist Wisdom. Next up here, we have a sort of unsung hero in terms of American black metal. This is Crimson Moon with To Embrace the Vampiric Blood. These dudes have been around for ages, man. They formed right in the thick of it, 1994. And this is the debut album from Crimson Moon that came out in 1996. And if you guys have never heard Crimson Moon before, these dudes are still around putting out albums. They put out an album last year. Granted, it was the first album they had put out in a long time, but they are still active releasing records. And they're still really fucking good. The album that came out last year, I don't remember what it was called. I don't think the title was in English, but it's really fucking good. And they've been good since the very beginning, which is almost unheard of. And for those of you who haven't heard this, the first time I heard it, I attributed it to sounding like a sort of twin sibling to Judas Iscariot, which is a massive compliment because Judas Iscariot is another sort of big boy in terms of American black metal. And this sounds a lot like that. What I will say for this is that this is a bit more varied than Judas Iscariot. Even within a song, you know, there have the harsh moments that'll go into like the acoustic guitar, and it's, you know, it can be ugly and it can be pretty, and it sort of varies from song to song, and it's very, very good. And this was a collaborative release between Dark Adversary and LXIX, which you can tell because they like to put these goddamn strips on them. And I will say this one's actually a bit easier to get off. Some of them are impossible to get off and even more impossible to get back on. But here's the strip. You just got some more releases and shit on the back. And there's the full artwork right there. I'm not sure if these are still available from anywhere. I got this pretty late through Pale Horse Recordings. I don't know if they still have any, but this is limited to 200 copies, so it was pretty limited. There's the back cover with the track listing, as well as some pretty cool pictures of the members there. Very nice. And this is quite nice. This is a bit more inclusive than all of the other LXIX releases that I have, because this actually has a sort of fold-out lyric sheet poster thing. So on the inside you have all of the songs and lyrics. So you can see there's some songs on this thing with a shit ton of lyrics in it. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But on the other side of the lyric sheet, you do have a small poster of the artwork. Very nice. And all 200 of these were released on red vinyl. There's one side right there. I like the labels on this thing. And there is the other side. Super nice. So in terms of American black metal, this is some of the best, and this is also some of the most underrated. So if you're interested in some second wave black metal from America that's really fucking good, and also very reminiscent of Judas Iscariot, if you know Judas Iscariot and you don't know Crimson Moon, check that shit out. That is To Embrace the Vampiric Blood. This next thing here is another American band. This is, however, death metal. This is Time Ghoul with their compilation of their 2 demos, Tumultuous Travelings and Panoramic Twilight. So, American old school death metal, these guys formed in like 91, and they only released 2 demos. Dark Descent has done a real good job of keeping this stuff available after all of this time. It probably wasn't available for a long time. It was probably just originally put out cassettes and that was about it. But luckily Dark Descent got a hold of it, and they've, like I said, done a real good job of keeping this available. And for good reason, because this is absolutely fucking fantastic. My man Josh, Mr. Run It JMA, was kind enough to grab me a copy of this. I guess he was getting one for himself and was kind enough to grab me one as well, which was super, super fucking cool. You guys know Josh, you better fucking be subscribed to him. If you're subscribed to me and you're not subscribed to Josh, fuck you. There's a real problem there. But if for some reason you're new and you've got no idea what the fuck you're doing, link is in the description. So, Time Ghoul, spacey, sci-fi themed death metal. Normally not my thing, but this is probably some of my favorite old school death metal ever. I genuinely feel like if these guys had gone on and released albums in the early 90s when they formed, Time Ghoul would absolutely be considered one of the classic bands, up there with like Deicide and Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, shit like that. But Time Ghoul decided that after 2 demos it was time to call it quits. But the 2 demos that they released, like I said, is probably some of the best old school death metal you'll ever hear. So I'll show you the packaging here. There's the front cover, super cool. I like this image an awful lot. There's the back cover, you got the band members, and then the images of what the original cassettes looked like. You got Tumultuous Travelings and Panoramic Twilight. And on the inside of the gatefold here, you do have like liner notes, shit like that, and all of the lyrics. And the lyrics are actually quite cool. And Josh had actually asked me which one I liked best. And out of all of them, I didn't have a record that looked like this. This was the Solar Edition. Clear vinyl with sort of the white splotchy shit in the middle. Limited to 100 copies. Very, very fucking nice. Quite cool labels too. There's that side. And there's Time Ghoul on that side. Very nice. But if for some reason you have not heard Time Ghoul, now's the time to get into it. Dark Descent, like I said, has done real good of keeping this stuff in print. So I'm not sure if any are available right now, but they're good with the represses. So if you haven't heard this, for the love of God, check it out. It's Time Ghoul with Tumultuous Travelings and Panoramic Twilight. Alright, this is something that you guys have all seen, but I have been listening to it more recently than I was when I first got it, so I figured I'd show it off. This is Death Worship with Extermination Mass. This was such an exciting thing for so many people when this was announced. Basically like a collaboration with Blasphemy and Revenge. And it basically sounds how you would imagine it would. Because you got Jay Reed from Revenge on drums, and then you have the vocalist of Blasphemy and the lead guitarist of Blasphemy as well. So this shit is fucking nuts. I'm not really going to talk about the music. You guys, from my description just there, you should know what it sounds like, but you guys have all heard it. But I will show you the packaging here. Fucking glossy fucking cover, but I love, absolutely adore this image. There's the back. You got more of like the silver print shit, which is very nice. Obviously put out on Nuclear War Now. Unfortunately, I did not get the Die Hard edition, but you have a lyric sheet here with some more really cool images. Just black vinyl, very simple labels, nothing too exciting. And this does come with a poster, which I do have framed and on my wall. Very nice. One of the other things I think is quite cool is actually some sort of like weird pattern print design on the inside of the jacket, which I think is a nice touch. Super chaotic, sort of black death metal, war metal, whatever you want to call it. You know what it sounds like. That's Death Worship with Extermination Mass. Alright, finally, I'm going to blow through this. This is Blood Stronghold with the March of Apparitions. I've had this for well over a year at this point, but I kind of forgot I had it until I was sort of looking through my records. I found this and I put it on and I was like, man, I don't think I ever talked about this. So this specific release, and not anymore because this band is still releasing things, but this specific release came out in 2015 and there were two members. One of the members is from Australia, and he has played with Eternum. He played live with Drowning the Light and Ball Gaudriel and shit like that. And the other member is from Poland, and I'm not really sure what that guy has been a part of. But yeah, this is super fucking good. It almost sounds uplifting, which is strange, but it's also like pretty raw, so it's like a good balance. But yeah, there's the front cover. I've got no fucking clue what it is. Maybe a bird and like a wizard with like lightning or something. There's the back. It's all very dark, but there is like track listing and shit like that on the back. Put out on Final Agony. Now this total press was limited to 250 copies, but the first 50 copies were released on hot pink vinyl. So from what I understand, it was supposed to be red. I think it was supposed to match the label. I guess the pressing plant fucked up and made it hot pink. Yeah, but it says 45 RPM, there's side Full Moon and side Apparition. And like I said, I don't know if they, after 50 copies, were like, yo, that's fucking gay as fuck. We're gonna just make the rest black. Or if, you know, there was only meant to be 50 red ones, I don't know. But this is quite cool. So, like I said, it's kind of weird because it is raw, but it also has a sort of uplifting sound to it. If something like that interests you, then this is right up your alley. That's Blood Stronghold with the March of Apparitions. Alright guys, is that? What the fuck was that? Alright guys, that's 5 more records down. I feel like this video is a mess, but hopefully I can fix it. So hopefully we'll be back soon. So yeah, stick around. Later.